Hello. Good morning, Manhattan. Today on Channel Challenge, we have found some interesting news on the threat of a stock market crash. So we sent our top reporters, John and Bailey, out on the scene to talk to some locals. Back to you, John. All right, now back to John in Manhattan.
I'm here in Manhattan asking one of the locals by the name of Mitchell Martin, how did the market crash change your life? I was 18 years old, but I lost a few $1,000s invested in stocks, seemingly unrelated to the mortgage industry. It has definitely made me more careful in how I invest going forward. On a positive financial note for us, we were also able to take advantage of the first-time home buyer's credit in 2010, prompted by the collapse in 2008. And then I asked Mitchell another question. Has the US ever recovered from the crash? He said the stock markets have set several distinct record highs since the 2008 crash, and property values have recovered in most places across the nation. I may be biased given the areas that I have lived in since the crash, though we did see some longer-term negative effects of the people living around us when we were in Pittsburgh from 2010 to 2012.
You were saying?
How can the government prevent this from happening again? As stated earlier, by regulating industry or seizing assets to a point where growth would be crippled, we could prevent, but risk will always be there, as any set of rules can be exploited for some period of time. We can see bubbles form all around us. Student loan debt and auto loan debt are both above $1 trillion, with many borrowers not paying or rolling more and more debt into their next vehicle purchase. There will always be a sure thing that turns out to be anything but, be it tulips or horses. What?
Tulips or horses?
Papers. Ready, go. Now back to Bailey.
Hold up, before this clip starts, let me just give a quick shout out to Dave, filming vertically instead of horizontally. But it's okay, let's just get to the clip.
Okay, thank you, Chancho, for bringing it back to me. Kind of low on budget here, using a marker as a microphone, but it'll have to do. I'm here with Joe Overby, talking about the stock market. And Joe, how has the stock market affected you?
You know, personally, since I don't have any stocks or anything of that nature, and one of those things for us, growing up in West Texas, we didn't have stocks, we didn't have bonds, and so the stock market recession, downturn, really has no effect on us. In fact, most of West Texas, because they were in the oil field actually boomed. There were more jobs, unemployment was pretty much non-existent, the housing market went through the roof. In fact, the house that we had, which we bought for $70,000, now is worth $107,000. So when the rest of the country is in recession or in the downturn, West Texas is booming. As long as the price of oil is strong, and right now the price of oil is strong.
Wow, interesting stuff. So, Joe Overby, do you not have any concerns about the stock market in the future?
I think in the future, the biggest thing that needs to happen, I know from our perspective, would be that those that did have it would have to be a little more careful with what they invest in and what they don't invest in, especially when these downturns happen. Ultimately, for most of West Texans, at least the average casual American who doesn't have stocks, the stock market and its prices, as long as it doesn't affect the things that really matter to them, food, gas at the gas station, oil in their cars, most of them won't care anything about that. I look at it as that all of it is related, and so therefore, we have to be a little more careful. Yes.
Well, this is definitely something to take into account when thinking about how you're going to spend your money. So let's go back to Chanch at Chanch News.
Oh, hey! Didn't notice you there. Hey, come on in. Let's talk about the stock market for a second, okay? So, go on, take a seat. No rush. Can you talk to Flash, please?
I don't know how.
Okay, so let's talk about the stock market. Okay, so, for example, the stock market crash in 1929 caused most people to lose their jobs and use their savings to get by and sell their businesses. Like Dow Jones Industry Average dropped 25% and it lost $30 billion in market value, which is worth nowadays $396 billion today. The market crash also caused people to lose faith in their local banks and start hiding their money under mattresses. But in special circumstances, like for example, Joe Overby, his home went from $70,000 to $107,000 because the market wasn't doing so well. Alright, so our solution to prevent the stock market crash in the future would be to decrease the amount of government spending on stuff like Medicare and to stimulate small businesses so that more people can get employed and start paying their own payments instead of the government giving out handouts.